Hello, this is Dr. Stanley Lang, and welcome to this broadcast. This is a continuation in the series of broadcasts that I've been doing on whole person health, and the subject today is on spiritual health and how that's connected to the goal of whole person health. This diagram, as I've been showing, is a way to indicate the interconnectedness of body, mind, and spirit, and how each one connects and helps the other areas to be healthy. I want to let you know about a story that I had an encounter with a patient a couple days ago that illustrates the role of spiritual health and how it affects emotional and physical health. So this patient is somebody that a year ago I saw for the first time, and he had some profound physical problems, and the average, I think the average reaction to seeing this person would have been that he just looked like somebody that didn't care, and that he didn't have any drive to do anything, the kind of person that would be easy to judge that he's not really interested in making anything of himself. And in addition to that, he obviously wasn't taking care of himself, so he was sort of slovenly, and it was hard for me to believe that he wanted to be more than what he was by the way that he was acting. But nevertheless, we did start some testing, which showed that he had a profound deficiency in both vitamin D and vitamin B12, which is kind of surprising for somebody as young as he was. But after a little bit of understanding of what he'd been eating, that more explains some of his deficiencies. And so he started on this regimen of vitamin replacement, which helped him to start to feel better. And after a couple of months, you could see that this was starting to really have an effect on him. And he actually had started to have a gleam in his eye. You know, he has had this real dull looking eyes before, but he started to look like he was alive after 2 to 3 months. And then he really started to get serious about doing things to get healthier, and he started exercising more, started losing weight, started eating right, started paying more attention to the smaller details that we would talk about each month. And now, over a year later, he's still losing weight, and he's probably maybe 40 pounds above his target weight at this point. He's lost well over 100 pounds. And so I decided to talk to him today about spiritual health, because one of the things that I've seen over and over again is that as people take care of their physical issues, they start to reach a point where they start to undermine what their real goals are, what their conscious goals are. Just for whatever reason, they start to undermine the goal as they get close to the goal. And so part of what I was trying to do was head that off at the pass and talk to him a little bit about his spiritual health. And he was quite open to doing that. And he admitted that he did believe in God, that he believed he was a Christian. Wasn't a real big part of his life. He wouldn't have considered himself theologically well versed. We talked a little bit about forgiveness, and I told him that it was really crucial that he learn the discipline of forgiveness, because that was key to him experiencing healing of his self-image. I explained to him how his self-image would and could get in the way of his staying on the path. That once he got too far away from what his self-image was, that something would pull him back to that. And so we talked about how learning to forgive others opens us to the forgiveness of God, the experience of the forgiveness of God. God has forgiven us, as you know through what Jesus has done for us. We know that God has forgiven us, but for most of us, we don't experience that forgiveness. We don't experience that love. And part of the reason is because we don't forgive when we could and should. So I wanted to explain a little bit of this to this gentleman, and it did resonate. He walked out the door with an intention and a plan to start to develop the discipline of forgiveness. So I wanted to remind you of that, because as you are making efforts to follow the basic disciplines of being healthy in body and mind, the most important discipline, I think, of them all is the discipline of forgiveness of others, of self, and thereby opening ourselves to experiencing the love of God, which then lets me continue to move forward with these other physical disciplines, because my self-image is being healed by that experience with God. It's been my experience that people who do not make this step of learning to forgive have a much harder time believing in and experiencing God's love for them. So I want that for you. So I hope that you're able to take this message and run with it. I wish you well. God bless, and have a great day.